On February 19, 1945, the U.S. Marine Corps attacked the beach on the island of Iwo Jima. This 5-week battle comprised some of the fiercest and bloodiest fighting of the Pacific War of World War II. The American invasion, designated Operation Detachment, had the goal of capturing the entire island, including the 3 Japanese-controlled airfields. These airfields would later be used as emergency landing strips for U.S. Army Air Force B-29s. The imagery of the Battle of Iwo Jima has become an iconic part of American history, most notably the raising of the flag on Mount Suribachi. It is considered one of the most powerful images of the war to date. The casualties of Iwo Jima will never be forgotten, nor will the brave men who went on to tell their stories. Joseph Hinderhofer was born in 1920 and raised in Chester, Pennsylvania. Upon graduating high school, Joe received an offer to attend the University of Delaware on a football scholarship, but chose instead to become a machinist apprentice, an occupation that would yield immediate returns. While working, he attempted to enlist in the Air Force, but was denied due to poor vision. He completed his apprenticeship and enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1943. He was sent to Parris Island for boot camp, followed by Camp Lejeune and Camp Pendleton, where he studied weapons and invasion tactics. He was transferred to Maui in the Hawaiian Islands and joined the 4th Marine Division and 25th Weapons Regiment. On December 26, 1944, Joe recalls boarding a ship to an unknown location to receive additional training in invasion maneuvers. In February 1945, Joe and his men would take part in the Battle of Iwo Jima. Alan McCauley was born in 1925 and was raised in Holmes, Delaware County. At the tender age of 18, Alan enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. After a 5-day train ride, he arrived in San Diego, California for boot camp training. After basic training, Alan volunteered to join a specialized combat unit known as the Paramarines, more commonly referred to as Marine Paratroopers. The planned jump was canceled at the last minute, and the program for paratroopers was abandoned. They were sent to Camp Pendleton and formed into the 5th Marine Division. There they trained for 8 months before being sent overseas to Hawaii for an additional 8 months training, eventually taking part in the invasion of Iwo Jima. Alan, with the 5th Marine Division 26th Regiment, 7th Battalion, spent 19 days and nights on Iwo before being shot in the arm. He would spend the next 11.5 months in hospitals, recovering from his wounds. Lou Camilli was born in South Philadelphia in 1919. A few years after high school graduation, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1943. Lou's journey in the Marine Corps took him from Parris Island in South Carolina to Camp Pendleton, California. But on September 10, 1944, the real journey began, sailing from San Diego to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and onwards to their final destination, Iwo Jima. Lou and his fellow soldiers in the 5th Marine Division landed on Green Beach on February 22, 1945. Green Beach was at the base of Mount Suribachi. At 553 feet high, it was the highest peak on Iwo Jima. The Japanese had the mountain very well covered, but on February 23rd, the U.S. soldiers made it to the top of Mount Suribachi and raised the flag in a moment captured for the world to see. It is considered one of the most powerful images of all time. After the raising of the American flag on Mount Suribachi, Lou and his fellow soldiers remained there for another month. They lost about 7,000 men. Lou recalls saying to a friend on the island, "What do we need this stinking island for?" It wasn't until he returned home that Lou would truly understand how important his time on Iwo Jima had proven to be. That month on the island was a pivotal, strategic moment in the war. The U.S. Air Force pilots didn't have enough fuel to fly back from Tokyo to the Marshall Islands, located in the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and the Philippines. Iwo Jima was an essential stop for these pilots, and by taking the island, they saved thousands of lives. While he was lucky to come back home safe and sound, Lou saw many horrors on Iwo he would rather forget. But he will always remember his fallen brothers, whom he prays for every day. Lou's service continued throughout Japan and the Pacific until he was honorably discharged on May 14, 1946. He came home to the love of his life, Jean, and they were married in 1946. They raised 2 children who grew to have children of their own. Lou currently lives outside Philadelphia. where he is blessed to spend time with his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. On January 25, 1946, Allen was discharged from the Marine Corps. He returned home where he earned his bachelor's degree from St. Joseph's University. Allen went on to become a court reporter. He spent most of his career working at the Defense Department in JAG at the Philadelphia Naval Yard, retiring from the U.S. government. Allen married his lovely wife Marion in 1953. Together they had 2 children, their daughter Robin and son Allen. Sadly, after 56 years of marriage, Marion passed away. Allen enjoys spending time with his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. In 1945, the war ended, and Joe was eventually transferred to the Philadelphia Naval Base for military police duty. In June of 1946, he was discharged from the Marine Corps. In 1947, Joe married the beautiful Mary Jane Wright of Eddystone. They were married for 65 years and had 1 son and 2 daughters. In 1954, Joe joined the Nether Providence Fire Department, where he later became president. He also served as a 5th Ward committee member for many years with the Delaware County Republican Party. Upon leaving Belmont Iron, he accepted a new position with the U.S. government fabricating experimental atomic-type weapons, eventually to be manufactured at the Aberdeen Proving Ground. His remaining employment was with Sinclair, followed by Atlantic and Sunoco refineries, ultimately retiring in 1984. He currently resides in Wilmington, Delaware, and maintains his membership with the local Marine Corps League detachment in Upland, Pennsylvania. He has 4 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. It is with great privilege that the Delaware County Veterans Memorial Association presents the Freedom Medal Award to United States Marine Corps veterans Lou Camilli, Joe Hinderhofer, and Alan McCauley.